Ask the Doctor with Michael Lang begins in 10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lang. Sponsored by Lang Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. Dr. Lang is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lang.
All righty. Good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I should say Ask the Doctors this morning. I'm Dr. Michael Lang, your host for 31 years. I tell you, time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, if you're new to the program, who's Dr. Lang? I'm a board-certified optometric physician. I'm a certified nutritional specialist. I have degrees in psychology and physiological optics, and I started hosting Ask the Doctor April of 1993. We opened 14 Lang Eye Care and Associates locations in the state of Florida, 3 LASIK surgery centers, and the Lang Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida. And of course, Fortify Vitamins about 25 years ago. So I am the lead investigator, formulator, and owner of the Fortify Vitamin Company. And this is a live call-in show dedicated to you, the listener, the consumer, the viewer. So no matter how simple or complicated your questions are, myself and Dr. Susan Somerton, my co-host, will be answering those to the best of our ability. I'm going to give you the new phone number. Write this down. The new phone number is 1-813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Susan Somerton of the Lang Eye Institute. Dr. Somerton, good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling here from the Villages today. It's a nice sunny day, although we did have a few showers. Looking forward to the callers and answering their questions and helping share what we like to research every day about nutrition and eyes and help in any way we can.
Absolutely. And Dr. Somerton is also a certified optometric physician and a certified nutritional specialist, and she's fellowship trained in 2 other arenas as well, and we can talk about that. So she's got more initials after her name than any eye care provider I know in the state of Florida, maybe in the entire country, and she's the asset to the Lang Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. Her head is always so big she can't get out the room after she finishes the show. Anyway, I will be at the Fortify Nutrition Center today from 1 to 3. So Fortify Nutrition Center over there on McMullen Booth Road, right in the Bayside Bridge Plaza where Publix is. Next door, you'll see Fortify Nutrition Center. We're open now, so you can go there now. And Tammy's manning the front desk along with her intern. So anyway, go on by Fortify Nutrition Center. I'll be there from 1 to 3. And also, the Fortify phones are being answered in our headquarters in Ocala, Florida. And I think Charlene is manning the phones this morning. So let me give you the phone number for Fortify Vitamins. It's 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. Or you can go to fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE. So fortify.com. And then I hail, and Dr. Somerton hails from the Lang Eye Institute, along with Dr. Caputi. The Lang Eye Institute is in the Villages, Florida, just a hop, skip, and a jump from wherever you are in the state of Florida. And we see patients there 5 days a week, and we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the phone number for the Lang Eye Institute is 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. I also want to mention, we have started just the other day, we ran a big news flash on the internet. We had a press release for our new Fortify Vegan Super Protein I'm holding up. So those of you that are watching us or viewing us, Fortify Vegan Super Protein is now 30% off. So we're doing that as a special since it's introductory. And so it's 30% off for a short period of time. I don't know, maybe a week or so, maybe longer. So take advantage of that. This stuff is delicious. Comes in 3 flavors: chocolate, vanilla, salted caramel, all vegan. It is sprouted, all right, to reduce the anti-nutrients, and upcycled. So we got upcycled sprouted barley. That's hard to say. Sprouted pea isolate. We added velocitol to enhance the protein effects and the muscle building properties, and has a PDCAAS score of 1, just like whey protein does. So the amino acid profile is very similar to whey. And I got to tell you, it is delicious. And Dr. Summerton, you were with us and you were instrumental. We tried for probably a complete year to get this to taste right. And most vegan proteins are very chalky and grainy. But I think we did a pretty good job. What do you think?
We did, and you're absolutely right. We went through so many that we would taste, and it was okay, but then you'd have that chalky aftertaste, and then we'd still be like, just not good enough. So we kept going forth until we did find this one, and we're quite pleased with it. It does have a delicious flavor. I just got through doing some weight training at the gym, and I had some of the chocolate salted caramel. I actually mixed mine this morning to try it with both the whey and the vegan protein, and I like the combination of both of them together too.
Right. It's delicious. I actually worked out this morning early and this sat in the steam room, and I had the salted caramel mocha right when I woke up before, and it has a little bit of caffeine in it, and just a little bit, about a half a cup of coffee, just to give you a little bit of jolt. All right, but we're going to go to the phones. I think Dennis has been waiting patiently. Dennis in Gainesville, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Lang.
How are you?
Huh?
What can I do for you this morning?
We're going to talk about retinal detachment, lost vision.
Right. And you, as I recall, you have one eye that you had a retinal detachment in, and you don't have very good vision in that eye at this point, right?
Yeah, I can see, but not good.
But
I can't read the eye chart. You know, I went to the doctor's, and I couldn't read the eye chart on the eye chart. You know, I couldn't make out nothing.
But your other eye is pretty good, right?
Yeah, no, the other one is completely out. I can't see.
Oh, so one eye's blind and one eye's not so good to begin with, right?
Yeah, but I can see, but not that good. I can't make out an eye chart. So they described me some special thick glasses to see.
And why? All right, so one eye had the retinal detachment. Why is your vision reduced in the other eye?
Well, I got something that to keep from going blind from the other one.
Okay. And do you see a retina specialist in Gainesville?
Well, I've called one time, and it's very, very expensive to see a retinal specialist. But I'm going to work on it and see how I can do it. The one you referred me to last time I called there, and I can't afford to see a retinal over there where you sent me.
And you don't have any insurance?
Well, I just get a little something from the state there for low income people.
Right.
So Medicaid.
So you have Medicaid. So there are Medicaid providers in Gainesville that are retina specialists. So you might want to call Medicaid and find out who it is. I don't know if it's University of Florida.
Yeah. I'll try. I'll do that. I'll try. I know there's a phone call after phone call after phone call, but I'll try on Monday. Hopefully.
Good. You got to do that. And if you have trouble, just let us know. You can always contact me at the Lang Eye Institute in the Villages, and we can try to figure out who we could get you in to see as well. Okay.
Yeah. When you come by to Gainesville sometime, I know you way out there. When you make your way over to Gainesville sometime, I know you don't know. Come.
Well, I used to have an office in Gainesville, and I sold it. And we had Ocala. So right now it's just the Lang Eye Institute in the Villages. So I don't know if I'll be in Gainesville in the near future, but you never know. My son's going to be an eye doctor soon. My daughter may be an eye surgeon in the not so distant future. So we may expand back to Gainesville because we got a lot of people that come down to the Villages from the Gainesville location. So you never know.
Yeah, it's good. I wish somebody would take you with them. I like to meet you. I wish somebody. I don't know anybody can take me over there. It's too far away. It's a long way. It's a long trip out there. Well, about this retinal detachment thing, how does it work? What you do?
Well, the retina is kind of like the film in the camera. And if the film in the camera doesn't work, then your vision doesn't work. All right. But that's why I want you to see a retina specialist to see if there's anything that can be done. So Try to get that done sooner than later, okay? And if you need help with that, you can let me know, and we'll go ahead and figure out what we can do. And if you see me, I can always put you on a payment plan. I mean, I've got patients that have been paying me $5 a month for years and years, so I don't have a problem. Okay.
Okay. But can I call you, Mister? Can I call you at some other number or just this one on Saturday?
No, this is the only number you can call me at on Saturday, unless you call me on my cell phone.
Okay, I can call you on your cell phone, Dr. Long.
So I'm not going to give my cell phone over the radio, but you can. I'll put you on hold, and then one of the technicians or the producers can give you my cell phone. Okay.
I'll call you at a certain time when I'm ready.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah, you can call me. Call me around noon today. Call me around noon today, and I'll pick the cell phone up because I've got some shows I host after this. So we'll put you on hold. We're going to put you on hold, and they will give you my cell phone number, and then I'll talk to you around noon. Okay.
Okay, Dr. Lang.
All right, Dennis. You take care, my friend. Bye-bye. All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctors, and we're getting ready to go to the next phone call here in just a second. Once again, if you have a question, call me at 1-813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. And I think we're getting ready to go see Gail in Cedar Key. Gail, good morning. Welcome to the
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I wanted to know how to wash my walnuts and my pecans. How do you wash nuts?
Right. So if you get raw nuts, okay, raw nuts, not the ones that have already been roasted and salted, raw nuts, you soak them, all right? Any nut,
Yeah.
you soak them in spring water or distilled water and put a little lemon juice or a little vinegar or a little apple cider vinegar. You want it a little bit of an acid medium, and you soak it overnight. And then in the middle of the night, you got to get up and pour that water off because that's pulling all the phytic acid and some of the lectins out of these nuts, okay? Especially cashews. Cashews are a very good nut, but they're very high in phytic acid. I would avoid peanuts and I would avoid almonds completely because almonds are very high in oxalates and peanuts can have this fungus on them. But otherwise, you can soak the nuts overnight in a little bit of an acid medium, pour the water off in the middle of the night and put more spring water in. Then they're ready to eat. After that, you can eat them raw or then you can roast them if you want.
Okay, now, when you say spring water, you can buy spring water?
Yeah, just in the bottled water, like Zephyr Hills or Voss or,
okay.
Fiji, artesian well water or spring water. Unless you have well water and the well water is good water, it's been tested. I just don't want you soaking them in the faucet water because depending on where you are, it's got chlorine and fluoride, and I don't want that being soaked up into the nuts.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much.
All right, Gail. Have a good one.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Gail. All right. You're listening now.
Gail's calling from Cedar Key there. That was one of the hurricane hit areas. I hope she's doing okay there after the hurricane.
Well, she's obviously got, telephone lines, but that might not be a land-based line. That might be a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our heart goes out to everybody in Cedar Key and geez, every place. I mean, South Carolina, North Georgia, North Carolina. I mean, those places got hit just as hard, if not harder than Florida. It's pretty amazing.
They did. And speaking of water, we might want to bring up, you're talking about spring water, all those people that are in the hurricane efforts around all this flooding water need to be careful with their contact lenses. We've been reading studies lately about acanthamoeba. That's the kind of protozoan germ you can get from contaminated water. So we want to remind people, don't be touching their contacts with that water and make sure they don't wear their contacts in the water, because if the acanthamoeba gets on those contacts, if everybody remembers from science and like high school, they're like little petri dishes and they can grow those germs. And unfortunately, acanthamoeba is one of those solutions don't kill very well. So we want to make sure everyone is just cognizant of wearing those contacts and don't use tap water, pool water, hot tub water around them.
Right. And if you ever go on a cruise, which a lot of you do, and I want you to keep cruising, let me tell you, because I got a lot of the cruise stock. So everybody go out and cruise. Anyway, a lot of people get on those hot tubs on these cruise ships and the pools in the cruise ships. And these hot tubs, especially, are notorious for having acanthamoeba. And once you get acanthamoeba in the eye, it's very difficult to treat because it's not like we can put you on a topical antibiotic. Antibiotic really doesn't do anything. So contact lens wearers, beware. Never get in a hot tub. Don't swim with your contacts unless you have 1-day disposables, and then you can just simply throw them away when you get out of the water, or you can disinfect your contacts when you get them out of the water. But remember, and I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know if contact lens solution is really great at killing acanthamoeba unless it's a hydrogen peroxide-based solution. But I could be wrong. What do you know, Susan?
No, I agree. That is one of the problems. It doesn't kill the acanthamoeba, so it can continue to grow when you put it back in your eye. So we're a big fan of the daily disposable. They actually became even more popular during COVID and people being more aware of the germs, but they're healthier and they also allow more oxygen, and you make sure you get fresh every day. And you're putting those contacts on your eyes and your tear film, your tears are a lot like blood. And so we want to make sure it's fresh and clean every day because our goal is to keep your eyes healthy and seeing great. We also want to help you with any dryness. And so we can really get a good daily contact with a lot of moisture in it that really helps with the dry eye much better than the longer wearing ones.
And my favorite, I'm a little bit biased. My favorite 1-day disposable is the Alcon Total One. It has UV blocking properties and blue filtering properties as well. So it helps filter out the harmful blue light. It's extremely comfortable, oxygen permeable, and great for people with dry eyes. So you pay a tad more than some of the typical 1-days, but not as much as some of the others. And it's made by Alcon, and it's called Total One. And then they make one that's kind of second to it, and it's called Precision. And the Precision lens is also a very good lens. We have great success fitting both of these lenses, don't we?
We do. We have a lot of patients that really love them, and they say it's the best lens they've ever worn. And that's what we want. We want them to be comfortable and want them to see clearly. But it's also more of a natural consistency closer to your tear film. And so we want to make sure that we're also kind of going with the more natural product. We're a big fan of that as well.
And I feel bad because I didn't say good morning to Scoobs. Good morning, Scoobs. How you doing over there, my friend?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. You look like you lost a few more pounds there.
Yeah.
Good. Exercise going well. Diet's well.
It is. All's good.
All right. That's my Ed McMahon. For those of you that are over 60, over 55, know who Ed McMahon is on Johnny Carson. He's my Ed McMahon. He does say something every now and then. All right, phone lines are open. We're going to take some calls. That's Dr. Susan Somerton of the Lang Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins, and myself, Dr. Michael Lang. Give us a call at 1-813-282-8283. One more time, that's 813-282-8283. Remember, 30% off the vegan protein. And if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back or I'll credit your account. How's that? So I haven't had anybody that doesn't like the vanilla, the salted caramel mocha, or the chocolate. It's delicious. It's creamy. It's not like the typical vegan protein. And remember, the country of origin is North America, not China. All right. It is not grainy. It is not chalky. It's delicious. It has the amino acid profile of whey protein. Remember, it's 2 sprouted proteins and velocitol. We use monk fruit and stevia for the taste. So no artificial flavors, no sucralose, and it's 30% off when you go to fortify.com, FORTIFEYE, fortify.com. You just click on the vegan super protein and it automatically has 30% off, and it's free shipping. Remember, most of us are not getting enough protein. You have to get it a minimum of 0.7 grams per body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you need 70 grams of protein. If you weigh 200 pounds, you need 140 grams of protein. So, and if you're really an extreme athlete, you need 1 gram per body weight. So think about it. Most of you had breakfast this morning. What did you have? I had a bowl of, I didn't, but you're thinking you had a bowl of cereal. You had some oatmeal. All right. You had a piece of toast, you had a bagel, you had a cup of coffee. You didn't have any protein. Now you can have that organic oatmeal because it's very high in beta glucans and it's a good fiber, but have some eggs, have some grass-fed beef. I mean, steak and eggs, believe it or not, is good. Grass-fed steak, though, not the traditional steak. Red meat isn't as bad for you as you once thought, as long as it's grass-fed. All right. Once again, phone lines are open, 813-282-8283. Remember, November 16th, Fall Festival at the Lang Eye Institute from 11 to 3. And we are hiring at the Lang Eye Institute. If you want a job, we will train you. So for our expansion, Lang Eye Institute, we're expanding at almost 6,000 more square feet, 12 more examination rooms, all the latest technology. We're going to have our new generation macular degeneration treatment center in the Lang Eye Institute. And we're looking at installing the new Levita light therapy made by Lumathera. This is a photo biomodulation technology developed for dry macular degeneration. The studies are amazing, and we're going to expand on that in a few minutes. But we're going to go to the phones because Steve has been waiting patiently. Steve in Clearwater, good morning.
Yeah, you were talking about amoebas.
Yep.
Did you say that to kill amoebas, it's hydrogen peroxide?
Acanthamoebas. We were thinking, I was asking Dr. Summerton if hydrogen peroxide was a good source to kill that in the contact lenses. And it's hard to kill those little critters.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Because they have a lot of antioxidants in them, which intercepts that oxygen radical. And yeah, I was just wondering, but the one thing in the body that goes after amoebas is the macrophage. That there's a lot of different types of blood cells, and the macrophages are the ones that go after the amoebas the most. Anyway, there's one thing that you constantly are asking people when they call, and where do you live? And and how far are you away from me? And you're always trying to make connections. Have you ever thought, I know you used to do this, but the biggest barrier for people to come to your office is transportation because they have bad eyes. They probably can't drive anyway. And I was wondering, is there any way that you ever thought about having a van that went all over the state and brought people into you?
Well, I was thinking more of a Fund Me account on Facebook for a Lang helicopter.
Yeah, that would be good. Or a transporter like on the Enterprise. Yeah.
But people can take a cab, or people can take Uber, those things. At one time when we had all the locations, we did have somebody that was employed by me that went around in our suburban type thing, and we did pick people up and bring them to the office. So it's just that was with 14 offices, it was economically feasible, but we have one big office now. I mean, who knows? I mean, it would be nice if Medicare had a code for that, okay?
Well, they do. I mean, they pay for a lot of cabs. Medicare will pay for a cab ride. I mean, I know they probably wouldn't do it that far, but it's just something to think about.
I didn't know that Medicare paid for a cab ride. Wow.
Well, yeah, for some people to office visits for doctors, they'll pay for it. And I don't know. Maybe it's Medicaid, not Medicare. Yeah. One other thing I'd like to do is I think that you should make you know how the states have official birds and official flowers and official state songs and all those things?
Right.
We should make all those things up for the Lang Eye Clinic. Like you should have marigold as your Lang flower.
Right, for the lutein, that's right.
Right. And your saint, patron saint should be Saint Lucy, because she had her eyes regenerated after they were destroyed. And your state, I don't know, we could come up with a whole bunch of things, just like the state has all those things for you.
Dr. Summerton could be our mascot.
Yes.
The asset, right? The asset, Dr. Summerton. You always have a lot of interesting thoughts there, Steve. And we're getting loaded up with some more calls.
Okay.
I appreciate the call, my friend.
Okay, God bless you.
All right, bye-bye. Susan, what do you think about Steve this morning? He was on a roll, wasn't he?
He was. He comes up with all those ideas.
All right, we're going to talk. Let's see, next phone call. Alan in Ocala. Good morning, Alan. Thanks for holding.
Oh, good morning. I just have a quick question about your proteins. I usually use your the Pro Fit and the Whey.
Right.
And if you make a smoothie out of this, is it okay to add blueberries, spinach, kale?
Absolutely. I would leave the spinach out. Blueberries and kale are great. Baby leaf kale. You want organic baby leaf kale. Got a lot of great antioxidants and no oxalates. Spinach is the highest amount of oxalates of any food known to man. So don't put the spinach in there. But absolutely, you can use and never use bananas. And I've talked to you about this before. I've told the show about this. Never put bananas with berries, okay? Bananas have polyphenol oxidase that blocks the absorption of flavonoids. But you could do blueberries, you can do pineapple, you can do blueberries and the greens go really well together. Baby leaf kale, though. That way it's not bitter the way regular kale is.
Okay, one more quick question about raw egg.
Mm-hmm. So
is that good?
I like raw egg, and believe it or not, for men, raw egg actually boosts testosterone. Okay. Now, a lot of people think, oh, raw egg might be, have bacteria in it, but the chances of you having a problem from a raw egg is really, really very slim. And there's actually a testosterone boosting smoothie that I recommend where you take pomegranate juice. So you could do this every now and then. Pomegranate juice stimulates testosterone. Whey isolate. So our grass-fed whey isolate in the bag stimulates, and whey concentrate does too. And then honey, a little honey, especially local honey or Manuka honey. Add a little raw cocoa, and then an egg, the baby leaf kale, and blend it together. Now, what you want to do is blend it first before you put the whey protein in. So you can blend it for 30 seconds or so. Then add the whey protein and only blend it for like 3 to 4 seconds once you put the whey protein in it. Because our whey protein is non-denatured, and if you blend it for a long time, it denatures it, and then it reduces the immune-building properties and the protein aspects.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Doctor. I appreciate all your information. Have a good day.
All right. You have a good one. And Dr. Summerton, we make a lot of smoothies, don't we?
We do, and I think it's fun to add the berries and the greens to it because it just gives you a fun, different flavor to try and just look forward to a different type of meal that you can have. I like to add, a lot of people, instead of the banana, I don't really eat banana, but I take zucchini and I cut it up in little squares and I freeze it. And then I like to put that frozen zucchini cubes in there, and that gives you a little creamier shake if you're looking for kind of the creamy consistency of a banana, and you get the health benefits from eating the zucchini as well.
Absolutely. And zucchini is very good for you. I got to tell you something. What is delicious, you take our salted caramel vegan protein, all right, and then take a scoop of our chocolate rejuvenate and just put it in water. So you take the chocolate rejuvenate and the salted caramel mocha vegan protein and shake it up. That's a complete meal. You're getting all your antioxidants, everything you need, complete meal, and it's delicious, and it's muscle building, energy producing, and helps your skin, hair, nails, and joints. So that's Dr. Lang's recipe of the day. Fortify Rejuvenate chocolate with salted caramel mocha, or you could just use the chocolate, but the salted caramel mocha gives it a different flavor, and it really is good. All right, we're getting ready to go to the phones. If you got a question, give us a call, 1-813-282-8283, and check everything out we have to offer at fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE. All right, we're going to Ray in Clearwater.
Dr. Lang, good morning.
Morning.
I was diagnosed with central retinal vein occlusion with macular edema in my right eye. That was in 2018. From 2018 to 21, I was getting Avasta shots on a monthly basis. November 21 to present, I'm getting Eylea shots every 6 weeks. There was a lens inserted in August of 2020. Laser argon was performed twice during this period of time. I'd like your advice.
Okay, so which eye was this?
The right eye.
And how's your left eye?
It's pretty good.
And how old are you?
83.
All right. First of all, they need to find the underlying etiology of this central retinal vein occlusion. Did they find out why? Do you have high blood pressure, diabetes, anything like that?
High blood pressure. High blood pressure.
Right. Are you controlling your blood pressure now?
I'm controlling it medically, yeah.
Good. So that's the most important thing. How much do you weigh?
170.
Good. So you're not overweight. That's the most important thing. Our patients are overweight. They got to lose weight. So how much vision do you have in the eye that had the central retinal vein occlusion and the macular edema? Do you have vision in that eye?
I would say about 80%.
80% gone, or you have 80% left?
Left.
Oh, well, that's good then. All right. Because some people.
My doctor told me that the Avastin and the Eylea might not cure the problem, but they'd keep it from getting worse. So far, it seems like that's what's happened.
So
it's not getting worse.
I mean, I think the things that we talk about on this show, I mean, total body wellness. Remember, you get the body health here, the eye falls in line. So an exercise regimen, as long as your primary care physician allows it and you don't have some kind of weird heart problem. So a little bit, just walking. Walking is great. You don't have to be running and sprinting.
We just got a German Shepherd. I walk.
There you go. So exercise, do a little weight bearing exercise. All right. You know, we talked about protein earlier. Make sure you're getting enough protein for your breakfast. And I want you to eat more dark green leafy vegetables, orange bell peppers, wild Alaskan salmon, blueberries, and eggs. Okay. All of these are very high in carotenoids, specifically lutein and zeaxanthin, and there's astaxanthin in the wild Alaskan salmon that your retina actually thirst for, right? These are not cures. These are not treatments for what you have, but God made a pretty good body. If we give it the right fuel, that's going to be beneficial. Now, oftentimes you can't get the right fuel in your diet. So an insurance policy would be our Fortify Macular Defense Vitamin. I'm going to have to cough. Dr. Summerton, I want you to chime in. I got to drink some water, okay?
Yeah, when we're talking about, people are probably wondering what the central retina vein occlusion is, and that's when you actually get a clot that blocks that main vein that's kind of draining blood from the retina. And so the treatment, especially, I know you mentioned you had macular edema, that's where you have the swelling of the very center part of your eye, and that's where the retina specialist does those anti-VEGF injections you were talking about, and they inject it into that kind of clear jelly or vitreous of your eye, and that's in hope to reduce the swelling of that macula, because if you have swelling of the macula, your glasses aren't going to work right, and your central vision is going to be blurry. And then sometimes they will inject those steroids, and the steroids are to reduce the swelling as well. The laser, they don't do it as much now, but they used to do it, and that kind of creates little burns on your retina to lower the chance of the bleeding, because when you get the occlusion, the blood has to go somewhere and you get bleeding out. And so they don't do it as much anymore. They use the injections a lot more for that. But all of the things they've been doing medically sound like the right things. And so it's now agreeing with Dr. Lang and just doing what you can for the rest of your body to keep your entire body healthy to help prevent it from happening again.
Now, let me ask you another question. How is your good eye? Do you have any degeneration, like any early macular degeneration or anything like that in the good eye?
The good eye has been also diagnosed as nuclear sclerotic cataract.
Okay, that's normal process of maturing, so I'm not overly concerned, at 80 years of old having a little cataract. But you haven't been diagnosed with macular degeneration then, have you?
Macular degeneration, macular edema in the right eye, not macular degeneration.
Good. So, like I said, take a proactive stance, see your eye doctor per their instructions, and then hopefully you don't have this problem in the other eye. Remember, the underlying cause had to be addressed, and I think as long as your blood pressure is under control, your blood sugar is under control, your body mass index is under control, and at 170 it is, unless you're only 2 feet tall. And we hope for the best, and certainly stay tuned to the show, and we can give you some good tidbits of information to hopefully keep you above ground longer and keep you seeing until you have 2 feet in the grave.
I try to listen every week. I think you have a wonderful show. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye. All right. Once again, you're listening to Ask the Doctors, Dr. Susan Somerton and myself, Dr. Michael Lang of the Lang Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida. And 4 to 5 Vitamins. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Also, for those men out there, before we take the next call, since we did talk about my special testosterone boosting shake, I want to just tell you, men, a few things you can do to boost your testosterone at any age. And we're going to go over this really quickly. Exercise, obviously. Resistance training, HIIT training, that's high intensity interval training, is great at boosting testosterone. Weightlifting is great. A diet that has all protein, carbs, and fats, not just a carnivore diet. You know, a modified ketogenic diet is ideal, or the Lang survival diet. All right. Stay away from anything that has BPA in it, xenoestrogens, bisphenol Phi plastic bottles. And if it's BPA, stay away from it. Whey protein, great at boosting testosterone. Cruciferous vegetables. So eat a boatload of broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, collards, kale, mustard greens, cauliflower. And if you're on a ketogenic diet, you can eat those. And if you eat them pickled, some people say if you're on a carnivore diet, you can have a little bit of that, okay? The good fats, omega-3 fish oil, avocado, coconut oil, and most importantly, stay the heck away from sugar, refined grains, alcohol, booze. Stay away from that. Make sure you get a good night's sleep and work on a tan, believe it or not. People that have a tan have higher testosterone, and we think it might be related to the vitamin D. And then reduce the stress in your life. So take a trip, go to the Bahamas, and, relax. All right, we're going back to the phones. Let's go to Sherry in Fort Light. Sherry, good morning.
Good morning. I was really pleased to hear you say that you were considering opening an office back in Gainesville. I've seen you a couple times way back when you were on Archer Road.
Right. I'm going to be in big trouble now if my wife's listening. She's probably going, no!
I mean, I'll have a good eye doctor here, and I can't complain.
Right.
But I remember you did some really good stuff for me, and I really appreciated having you here.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. And like I said, I'm hopefully going to have 2 of my kids joining the team one day. Hopefully I'll still be alive. And you never know. We'll obviously have to expand, but we'll see. I mean, Ocala and Gainesville seem logical to me, but you just never know.
All right.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. All right. Check everything out on the Fortify website. Go to fortify.com. That's FORTIFEYE. Remember, the new all-vegan super protein that we worked on, Dr. Somerton worked on it with me for many years. It's the first all-North American produced, sprouted, upcycled, all right? So very green, upcycled vegan protein. That's a complete protein, vegan super protein. It's 30% off. You can get it at the Lang Nutrition Center in Ocala. That's right upstairs on State Road 200, the only 2-story building right across from the mall. It says Lang Nutrition Center on the sign. Upstairs where Dr. Poser and Reboot and the Hearing Center. We have acupuncturist, neuropsychology. I mean, everything is upstairs. It's a kind of a wellness center. So that's where the Lang Nutrition Center is. You can get it there. You can get it at the Lang Eye Institute or the Fortify Nutrition Center. And remember, today I will be at the Fortify Nutrition Center in Clearwater from 1 to 3. A few weeks ago when I was there, we had one of the biggest crowds show up ever. I mean, we had probably 25 people in there at one time. That was about 2-3 weeks ago, I guess it was. So I'll be there today from 1 to 3. All right, phone lines are open. 813-282-8283. 813-282-8283. Dr. Somerton had talked about red light therapy not too long ago, and she's a big advocate of it, and I am too, of this red light therapy for total health. Well, there is this new device that we mentioned a couple of times in the radio show not too long ago called Levita Light Therapy. And it's photobiomodulation developed for dry macular degeneration. But also in Europe, they're using it for geographic atrophy. And it's interesting. There's 3 wavelengths of light, 590 nanometers, 590, and that increases nitric oxide synthesis and inhibits VEGF expression. So, anti-VEGF injections are what they're doing for wet macular degeneration. This frequency of light actually inhibits this VEGF expression. And then 660 nanometers promotes O2 binding and increases ATP, that's adenosine triphosphate. It decreases inflammation and cell death. So that's pretty interesting. And then 850 wavelength drives the electron transfer. So it also decreases inflammation and increases ATP and decreases cellular death. And so I just spoke with one of the powers that may be at this company yesterday on a Zoom conference, and it is helping to increase visual acuity, decrease the progression of dry macular degeneration. Even the study shows it decreases the progression of geographic atrophy, and it's non-invasive. It's a frequency of light with essentially very minimal negative side effects. It's not a laser. It's not an injection. We are super psyched for this. Dr. Somerton, this could be one of the biggest things to hit the eye care industry.
Absolutely, because right now when we have our patients come in with that dry macular degeneration, which is the most common type of macular degeneration, you hear of people getting injections in their eyes, but that's when they have wet. Unfortunately, that is more rare, but as of right now, our best potential treatment for dry is just balancing the nutrition and getting those good nutrients of lutein and zeaxanthin in there. That's what we still want to do. But now that we can add a treatment that is not going to produce side effects, is going to help what we call those little mitochondria in the retina, reduce that oxidative stress, that damage that's happening just by this light therapy, we are so excited that we can offer something that gives these patients hope, because it's a very scary thing to know that you could lose your vision. And we're constantly looking out, constantly researching to find what we can do to help these patients that come in on a daily basis.
Right. And I do know there's a Medicare approved code for this procedure, and we don't know what they're going to reimburse. We just hope the powers that may be are going to reimburse enough for it to cover the expense of the technology. I'm sure they will. We'll keep everybody abreast of this. And if you want to talk more about it, November 16th at the Fall Festival, you can see me and Dr. Somerton, and we'll be there talking about this as well. So come on by. Also, I got everybody's attention that has macular degeneration right now. So there is a very interesting piece of technology we've been recommending to people just recently. We were involved in some of the very earliest studies with this device. And it's called the 4C Home Therapy. And it's a device that you put in your house, all right? They send it to you and just plug it in. It's very simple. And you look into it once a day or every other day or how often you want to. And it actually sends these information that's gathered from this device of your macula to some ophthalmologists that review it daily, okay? And if there's a change in your retina, this will pick up the earliest change. So the dry form of macular degeneration trying to turn into the wet form of macular degeneration. So the key is early detection. This is covered by most of your insurances. If you have Medicare and a supplemental, it's covered. It's no charge to you. And so if you're interested, you could talk to your optometrist, talk to your ophthalmologist about it. Come by the Lang Eye Institute. It's called the 4C Home Therapy. And the studies show that you go from a 34% chance of visual loss to 84%. It goes from 34 to 84% of keeping your functional vision. So we want to keep functional vision. So if you don't do anything at all, or you do the old-fashioned Amsler grid, it's only 34%. But if you do this testing, 84% chance you don't progress to functional loss of vision. So pretty exciting. All right, we're going back to the, I think that was Dan. Call me back, Dan, if you got a question. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. That is 813-282-8283. We will answer those questions if you give us a call. So what do you think, Dr. Summon, the number one problem that people come into the Lang Eye Institute, and something that plagues everybody sooner or later in their life, and their eyes feel sandy, gritty, burn, tear, itch, fluctuation in vision. What is this, and is it really as popular as I'm saying?
We all know it's a dry eye that is so many different kinds of symptoms. From what's the most surprising to people is their eyes are watering, and they get very confused sometimes when they come in and complaining of their eye watering, and we tell them it's dry eye, and all they can think of is my eye is wet. But our eyes are full of these little nerve endings, and so that's one of the things. If your nerve endings are telling the message in your brain to say, hey, my eyes are dry, what it's going to do for you is start producing extra tears to help compensate for the tears that you're not producing. And usually that's an early form of dry eye. If you're not making those tears and that layer isn't protecting it, you get these dry, dead cells, and those dry, dead cells are what feel that kind of sandy, gritty. And it can vary throughout the day. A lot of people wake up with it. Their vision is blurry because they don't have a smooth tear film, and it takes a while of them blinking to smooth out that tear film, but maybe they've slept with a fan. Most people are a little dehydrated when they first wake up. Just from us breathing, it dehydrates us. So we want to make sure we have a nice little glass of water when we first wake up to help stabilize that vision. Then people use the computers all day. They're not blinking as much. Without that blinking, obviously your tears are going to evaporate. Your vision's going to be blurry. And again, you might get watering. You might get grittiness. And it's just our life takes us through these stages. The hormone changes of women can aggravate it. Medications can aggravate it. And so it can affect all different types of people at all ages because of the different reasons.
Right. And the two top lubricants that we recommend, the simplest thing for dry is put a good lubricant in. But the problem is most lubricants you buy over the counter are just kind of watery and they just don't last long. So we like Oasis Tears and Optase. And the Optase we really like the best is probably the MGD. It's called Optase MGD Advanced. And so Oasis Tears Plus, or Optase MGD Advanced, you can get those mostly through doctor's offices. You can certainly get them on our Fortify website under the eye care section. And then cleaning the lids is also very important. So we clean the lids, especially right before bedtime. And in the olden days, we used to say use baby shampoo, but that just cleanses a little bit. And it has some things in it that can, really dry the lids out. So one that I like is also made by Optase, and it's called Optase Tea Tree Oil Lid Wipes. That's my favorite. They also have a gel, but Optase Tea Tree Oil Lid Wipes, you use that to clean your eyelashes right before you go to bed, and you use the Optase MGD drops or the Oasis drops. And like Dr. Summit has said, make sure you drink plenty of fluids. Take a good omega-3 fish oil like our Fortify Super Omega if you're under 200 pounds, and Fortify Super Omega-3 Max if you're over 200 pounds. And if you really have super dry eyes, consider our Advanced Dry Eye Therapy Kit. And all of this is on the Fortify website or at our nutrition centers, and many doctors have them in their offices as well. So the other thing, we don't have much time, but we do a lot of plugs, but amniotic membranes are pretty good also for people with severely dry eyes, isn't it, Dr. Somerton?
Yes, when we've gone through the basics of making sure they're cleaning their lids, they're hydrating with tears, and they're using their omega-3 fish oils and using the heat on them, if that's not enough, we do have this kind of powerful treatment of the amniotic membrane that is super healing for the surface of the cornea and anti-inflammatory. And it's a membrane we place on their eye for 5 days, and we just see a really regenerative process go along. And we also have the Regenerize drops. Those little stem cell related drops too. That's another option.
Right. The Regenerize drops are great. And you got 5 seconds to tell everybody goodbye.
Wishing everybody a great day. Eat something healthy. Do something healthy.
Thank you. And remember, check everything out at fortify.com. Fortify.com. Remember, the vegan super protein is 30% off on the website. With that, I'm out of here. Have a great day. God bless you, and God bless America. See ya.